Hello and welcome to the First Issue Club. We're your weekly comic book podcast. We're just like Sue Storm. We love a good read. This week, we've got a special episode for you. This is an Andy Vargas episode. Greg and I... Hi, I'm Mike.
I'm Greg.
I'm the aforementioned
Andy. So now you know who all of us are. You have your bearing.
Yeah.
You're welcome. These are the breadcrumbs we try to leave you in First Issue Club, so your little Red Riding Hood can find your way home.
Uh-huh.
Familiarize yourself with our voices and the distinct nuances within them.
Some's too hot, some's too cold, and one voice is just right.
Just right. Up to you to decide which one it is. Greg and I have been recording what's called in the biz an evergreen episode.
Oh, okay. I know where this intro
we do
is
some
going.
early sods. It's an all evening affair.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy did the heavy lifting for us on gathering the comic book news that you love to hear so much, that keeps you in tune with what's going on. And Andy read a good, 4 first issues today?
I read a couple. I read 4.
Andy, tell us, are these things still made out of paper?
If the moon was made out of spare
if comics were made of cheese, would you eat it?
Coming up in the episode, I read Minor Arcana.
I'm very curious about this book.
I read Plastic Man No More.
I read that too.
I read The Autumn Kingdom. And I read Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay.
A lot of great stuff to look forward to. I'll say I'm very jealous of people who got their hands on the preview edition of Major Arcana. Is that what the name of the book is? Minor Arcana.
Major's the sequel.
Because it has the die cut corners. The corners of the comic are rounded in that one. So it looks like a tarot card. I think that's so
for insurance
stinking cool.
policies, it won't hurt you.
It won't hurt you. Yeah.
Imagine how many 9/8 there would be.
If every corner was rounded.
Every corner of every comic was rounded.
Oh, God.
CGC, you'd be out of business and we'd all be better off for it.
Yeah. We'd all be tens.
No more dog ears here, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of CGC,
Oh.
we'll hop right into some news.
Oh, can I say, before we do,
You
Yes.
we are sponsored
Oh,
by
God,
one of
yes.
the greatest companies in America, nay,
Nay.
Earth, nay,
Ah.
the galaxy.
Galaxy.
That's right, because we're talking about a beer whose taste is of cosmic proportions.
It's not even a beer. It's an experience.
That's right.
It's a journey.
It's Boulevard Brewing Company's Space Camper Cosmic IPA. A beautiful, complex IPA that comes in an incredible number of varietals. So regardless of your IPA taste
Preference.
they've got the right hop mixture balance for you. You
This
like
is-
the bitter?
You got bitter? You like bitter stuff?
We got really bitter stuff.
I got some bitter stuff for you.
You like lower ABV, a little easier to drink? We got that too. Space Camper is a big family.
You like more of a fruity, botanical IPA? Buddy, do I have a beer for you? Space Camper IPA.
Yum.
Delicious, lovely, and beautiful.
Thanks for sponsoring the podcast, Boulevard. We
Thank you,
love
Boulevard. Thank you. Andy, do you have news or
Now,
something? God,
Andy,
speak up.
what have you been
Oh,
taking so long
sorry.
for?
Do yourself a favor and pick up a sampler.
Oh, yeah, they
Of
do a
Cosmic
variety
IPA.
pack, yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of CGC, I just saw this on the way here. Well, once I got here, flipping through Insta. Distillery has their own custom CGC label.
How
now.
about it?
Yeah, boy.
It's-
Is it digital only?
It's digital only for your digital slabs.
Yikes.
No,
Don't give them that idea.
it is physical only for now. But the cool part is you can get it for free when you slab any distillery book.
Oh, it's free.
It's free.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the pink with the yellow background.
Okay.
It
love
looks
that.
It looks really good on the blue label. The yellow label, it doesn't look, in my
Yeah.
opinion, as
Uh-huh.
good because it's yellow on yellow.
Yeah.
With the pink. And they're only offering it on Universal and Signature Series.
Okay.
Can I get a distillery label on a Marvel book?
Probably not.
I think the way this works, is anyone interested in this, or should I just bow out of the complexity of this conversation?
How long are you going to go?
Someone's going to be interested.
When you aren't putting in your comic book, if it's something they have a record of in the CGC system, if the way you've typed it in matches something on file, they can say, okay, we recognize this as a book that has the Fantastic Four in it, or has Venom in it, or is of a universe that connects this character that would make logical sense. There are certain books where I've put it in and it's been like a weird Deadpool variant, but because it's not in their system yet, I can't get the Deadpool label even though I know it's there.
Got it.
It can be kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But you cannot get an Image also has a couple like Walking Dead labels and stuff like that. And
okay.
Invincible.
Yeah.
You cannot put an Invincible label on a Marvel
Something
book.
else.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it. Wow.
Well,
This is America.
if you're into that thing,
Salute.
you can get your distillery labels on your distillery books for free, which I thought was pretty cool.
If you're hunting for an
If you're slapping distillery books,
if you're
we got a problem.
I was gonna say if you're hunting for a 9.9
Yeah.
and you would just like to have one in your collection,
Distiller's the way to go.
your fastest route to that is send in a handful of distillery books, because probably 1 out of 5 is going to come back a 9.9, because those are big beefy squares.
Really and truly.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Just like me.
Next up on the list, Joker 2. Reviews are starting to come out.
Oh yeah.
It's getting, I'll say, mixed reviews. IGN gave it a 5
Out of
10.
Oh wow.
Rotten Tomatoes right now, as of recording on Thursday night, blah blah blah, 60%,
Wow. Okay.
which is about 8 to 10% lower than the first movie, which made $1 billion. So
yeah.
it is roundly getting, big air quotes, worse reviews than the first movie. The question is will it make another $1 billion?
No.
I think not, also.
I think
We've
it.
kind of exited the era of $1 billion superhero movies, it seems.
Yeah, except for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
Did that already cross $1 billion?
Yeah.
It crossed
And it's-
600 million domestic.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I think like its second weekend.
Yeah.
Like worldwide.
It
was just like, okay,
It's the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
Yep. It surpassed Passion of the Christ. Take that, Jesus. Marvel Jesus did it again.
Marvel Jesus beats regular Jesus.
What were we talking about? The Joker movie.
The Joker 2.
I think what propelled the Joker getting so much hype and money the first time around was because it was so controversial.
Yeah, everybody thought it was going to inspire a bunch of school shooters.
Right.
Which we already have those.
Yeah, already this year. I think it was a bunch of baked in hype that made people go see it more and more. Yeah. And then it bled into non-comic book fans being interested in it to see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's not going to happen with this one, even with the addition of Lady Gaga. You know what I mean?
The fact that they made it a musical was like, it's too weird for the people that are like Joker people.
And what I've read is it's not actually a musical as much as it is just like kind of like introduces some songs that flow with the movie to like give off like the vibe of the scene or whatever. It's not like, you know, Cats or anything. Like this isn't pre-made songs.
Yeah.
It's like them singing songs of that era in particular moments to like convey an emotion. If that, you know.
Yeah, they're not singing what they're talking about. They're singing Rocket Man because he's hot.
I have a fish that looks like a gun. I'm the Joker. Like that's like Joaquin Phoenix doesn't sing that.
Okay, Todd Phillips needs to call Greg.
He should.
I think this always happens whenever there's a movie with song in it, and it hasn't necessarily been marketed as such, that people are just immediately unhappy as soon as any of that stuff starts happening, because the musical perception is very much so like, that's not for me, dog, for most like bros or moviegoers. I also think that there's something about the Joker, that the first movie, that was very bro-y.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It was NFT, smiling monkey, like...
Well, it's guys that had Fight Club poster on their wall.
Yes, totally.
It's guys who misunderstood Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yes.
With
Yeah,
the
yeah.
posters on
Yes,
the wall.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
like,
yes.
they still have Boondock Saint tattoos on their hands.
And then I think you add Lady Gaga to this, and you try to do something
For the lady bros.
a little
Who take a monster in the morning and are a monster by the end of the night.
you do something a little less Taxi Driver, and then all of a sudden people are like, wait, this isn't the thing
Yeah.
that I wanted from this.
We can't remake King of Comedy again.
Wait,
Yeah.
why is there a lady in my man movie?
I don't want to just like, I haven't seen it yet. I don't, and
It's not out.
No one has.
okay. How many people are putting reviews in then?
Screeners.
Just like a lot of like,
I mean, website like IGN
yeah.
and
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
and
people who are paid to shit on things.
Yeah.
So I definitely got a copy.
Yeah. The first review was like, well, it's no Wally. This won't go in the Criterion Collection.
It's no Watchmen Chapter 1.
Not enough singing.
Grease it ain't.
I was annoyed with the initial Joker movie because it, for me, went against everything that was comic books and like just general movie
Yeah.
fun. And I was like, I'm out. I can't do this. I don't care if a guy standing ovation. I don't care if Martin Scorsese says it's the best thing since sliced bread. This seems against what I believe in as far as just entertainment.
I thought the People's Joker was a beautiful response to the first Joker movie, and it's a shame it got delayed and hung up in like a lawsuit for so long that they couldn't release it closer to the actual Joker movie being released, because it was this like slice of machismo.
Yeah.
And just like making it like the most queer character, like, and using that to tell kind of like a misfit story or a story of abuse, and tying Harley Quinn into that and being like, can we be both the Harley Quinn and Joker? Like that movie does a lot of interesting things, and I think it would have hit so much harder for me if it could have been released
A major movie release.
when it was intended to be around when this other Joker movie came out.
If I was a billionaire, that is what I would dump $1 billion into.
Yeah. Imagine being able to have a response movie like in a month or like in a couple of weeks.
No, I want to pay them to remake the People's Joker with a budget.
Or just release that movie.
I mean, okay, so ideally they release their original movie and a bonus feature is the one that cost $1 billion.
That's, yeah.
Right? Like,
That'd be funny.
rough cut, but it's like
Yeah.
the budget's insane.
I don't know.
Joker 2 is going to be dumb and stupid.
Joker
And I'll
2
go
is
see it.
not going to be as hyped as the first one, and that's fine.
I'll see. I'm gonna reserve judgment. I like the Lady Gaga of it all.
Sure.
I feel like
Well, you're a monster.
I am a little monster, and her being tied to it makes me think it's gonna be more than just like, this guy wants to be famous and didn't get it, and now he's like
A Joker. Killing people.
gone mad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna do anywhere near the success of the first one.
Also,
Yeah,
Joaquin
it-
Phoenix just rubs me the wrong way in most everything.
It might not be as successful as the first one, but it might be a better movie.
That's
That's
a
kind
good
of my
take.
Yeah.
right now.
It
Okay.
could be. That's true.
Yeah.
Next.
Um, so
What else can we dunk on?
here's the biggest slice of news.
Give me that Oreo because I want to dunk it.
This could be a big nothing burger, or it could be the biggest news of the year. So Bo DeMeo, who was the executive producer of X-Men 97 and Blade.
Is this the OnlyFans thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He dropped a 30-minute video on his OnlyFans claiming that Marvel and Disney have a toxic workplace, shocking levels of discrimination, and attempted to silence his creative vision over and over and over and over again. This was the guy who was let go before X-Men 97 Season 1 came out and had his producer showrunner title removed from Season 2.
Yeah, he had worked on season 2 but lost the credit,
Yeah. So
which seems like something you shouldn't be able to do. But it's in his contract that like,
yeah.
yeah,
So
if you get like if you get terminated for like XYZ, they can do that.
Yeah, and he is bringing litigation against Marvel for all these different things, the
Yeah.
discrimination. There's like some sexual abuse stuff on both sides. Marvel is claiming that he was sexually abusive. He is claiming that they were sexually abusive.
That's what I read. The Marvel statement made it sound like he was let go for absolutely egregious behavior.
Correct.
Which I assumed was like some sort of like sexual assault or like...
Yeah.
Also, if your response video can only be accessed through an OnlyFans account,
I mean, that's very weird. It's also weird to me because he says in the video that he's got all these receipts and he's got evidence and all this stuff. Hasn't released any of it. I mean, he is retaining a lawyer. The lawyer's response was that, you know, all these allegations from Marvel are completely egregious and not true.
Yeah.
And that they let him go basically without cause, which is like illegal in California.
Well, one of the things that he claimed was that he posted a photo of himself during Pride where he was dressed as Cyclops.
Yeah.
And he has kind of alluded to that Marvel didn't like that he is an employee of Marvel who is dressed as like a shirtless Cyclops during Pride, which is a terrible look for Marvel if that's true.
if that's true. But fucking Wolverine was shirtless the entire time. I'm Deadpool Wolverine.
Well, it's not about that. It's about
I understand. I was
the
just trying
gay
to
thing.
Yeah. Which this is just a big mess for everyone. And whether or not the receipts are there, we'll wait and see. Trying to sue Marvel is like David versus Goliath.
I mean, it really is. And that's why I think it's interesting that the only thing the lawyer really said was like the wrongful termination thing.
Yeah. I mean, what would you want to address the sexual allegations? And then it's like, well, we'll see you in court. It's like
this stuff's so tricky because when you work at like such a major corporation that has billions of dollars to throw around and can make their employees sign like absurd contracts that are like, hey, if you tell tales out of school, like we own your life now. Like you will never
You're
be
fucking toast.
You'll never be able to pay for like the amount we're gonna sue you for violating your like NDA, right? And so it does seem like something where you're just like, well, why haven't we heard other people blowing whistles at Marvel? Seems like you would have heard this, or sorry, not at Marvel, but at Disney.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that would have happened if somebody wanted to back this up, or if somebody wanted to be like, yeah, that guy really is a shithead. But we haven't heard either thing. They're just like keeping everybody so tight-lipped, and it's really tough as a fan to not know, like, do I root for this guy? Was this guy like, you know,
a victim,
Yeah.
or was he like victimizing other people? Like, we just have no clue.
Yeah.
We've got zero clue.
Right.
and they want to keep it that way.
Yeah, right.
Well,
It's something we might never get an answer to, and if this guy is a victim of discrimination, then like that would drive me insane if I was him.
Well, I mean, to your point, Mike D, I mean, I guess you can see both sides, but like you would assume that if this discrimination was so egregious, especially in today's climate, that somebody is going to be the next guy, and then the next guy, and then the next guy. Because there's a ton of people who have no love for Disney, a ton of people who have no love for these big corporations. And especially given the fact that Disney is trying to be a more progressive company, it's going to be a bad look for them. They're going to want to either come out and get in front of it or shut them up.
Yeah.
And you don't shut somebody up by taking them to court.
Or if they know that they didn't do anything wrong or he has no receipts, you shut up and don't do anything. You issue a Marvel.
Then you let him go to court, right?
Yeah, Marvel issues a statement of just like, listen, that guy did some fucked up shit. That's why we cut him off.
Yeah.
If we want to go to court, we're going to go to court.
Yeah.
It's not on the responsibility of Marvel to release anything.
For sure.
Did you see any of the video?
No, I did not see any of the video.
This was one of those things where I feel like when you see the person talk about this stuff, do they have a level head or are they like losing their mind? Because like
Charlie Sheen, Tiger Blood
like
stuff.
just in that I can be like, okay, like if you're just like losing your shit, that it's like you're the sort of person that you don't want to be in a meeting with, who is like every wrong that you've ever perceived as being done to you, like is taken out of control and creates like a very toxic work environment. I'd be interested to see the video, just how it's like.
I think it's slightly
Well, go
telling.
to OnlyFans.com, pay $10 and you can see it.
I know,
That's the whole
it's like
thing.
you have to pay for it to see it.
I think
Right.
it's
Is
slightly
he trying
telling.
to create? Is he trying
money.
to?
He wants money for himself. He tried to pay for his lawsuit. This smells of gross.
It's more than slightly telling that you would release a video behind a paywall with something
That tells your truth. It's like, if
exactly.
it's your truth, make it fucking free, dog.
Exactly.
What
and
are you
then,
doing?
And you can say, if you want to support me in my fight against Disney, subscribe to my OnlyFans. Like, and people will do that. But like, to put that content behind a paywall doesn't do him any
Fucking
favors.
Wild. Yeah. And guess what? It takes one person buying that subscription, screenshotting it, and then leaking it out.
I mean, that's true too.
Like, God, what a bonehead.
So if anybody out there has more details than what we've given here, if we've gotten anything drastically wrong,
or if you got an OnlyFans you want to promote, email us. Let us know about it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Send us your OnlyFans, I guess.
Yeah, join us on the Discord. We'd love to hear from you. Tweet at us. We'd love to make corrections in our next episode if I got anything drastically wrong about this. Or if tomorrow, after we record this, everything comes out, and all these questions are answered, then,
then
fuck
we will
me, I guess.
scrub this episode.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that just like this story just fizzles and like we
No
never
winners.
find anything out.
Well, that's what I mean. It's either going to be the biggest suit in, entertainment, or it's going to be a nothing burger. So time will tell.
Yeah.
That's what I had news-wise.
Okay. I didn't have anything either. Slow news times.
A little bit slow.
Absolute Power's popping off. People are loving that.
Oh, there's a new symbiote in the International Venom 3 trailer, and people are saying that it might be
Slasher?
Lasher. One of those
Donner,
guys.
Vixen, Comet, Cupid.
I had a feeling that they would do that amalgam symbiote, where it's like the 5 different symbiotes that all
Give me Anti-Venom.
like come together.
Why don't I know about this thing?
You never heard about that?
I don't think so.
It was back a few years ago. They did like Screamer, Lasher, Toxic.
Come Lasher, come Screamer.
I mean, essentially, it's like, what else can we rhyme with this fucking thing?
So
what about the Bubbler?
it showed up in that Carnage miniseries that Zeb Wells and
Cult of Carnage?
Clayton Crane did. No. This was like early 2000s. But it's like it's a team of like
All
soldiers.
the Life Foundation symbiotes.
Yeah, but they all have like a piece of this like amalgam symbiote. So like one of them has like, legs. My symbiote's only on my legs and I can run fast. My symbiote's only on my arms and I can lift boulders.
Like fucking Voltron?
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what it is. And
Weird.
then they can all like go on the same guy to make like the super symbiote.
Neat. Comic books are neat.
How about it?
One of the symbiotes is a dog, and the guy's got him on a leash.
Dogbeote.
Dogbeote.
Dog Bert's in the next Venom movie.
No,
I killed my racist owner. I'm Dogbert.
there it is.
We saved some IP.
Death of Dilbert.
Fuck you, Scott Adams.
Yeah, for real though. Can we talk about Plastic Man now?
I would love to talk about Plastic Man.
Segueing into comic books. Plastic Man No More is my pick of the week.
Yes.
Holy shit. I was not expecting to like this book as much as I did. I'm a huge Plastic Man fan, so I take that with a grain of salt that I would have loved this book no matter what. But they had no reason. Christopher Cantwell had no reason to make this as poignant and sad and like just a complete, excuse the pun, deconstruction of Plastic Man.
Yeah.
That
He's
it
one-
was.
He's one of my favorite writers. He's so good.
Christopher Cantwell is a goddamn weapons maker.
Yeah.
He is on a heat streak that I have not seen in a long time.
This is gonna be his Tom King's vision.
I honestly think you're right.
Hey.
Like
It's a deconstruction of the character, of who he is, his relationships with his family, his relationship with the Justice League, which is like growing up as a kid who's been known as the clown.
you were
like,
a kid too?
Dude, we've talked about this.
Oh, sorry.
I grew up as I have that Benjamin Buttons thing, so I grew up as an old man.
Yeah, I was born with a walker and a wandering bladder. But like as a kid, I was like the jokester and like the class clown. So like I was never taken too seriously when I wanted to do like serious stuff. And this illustrates that point so well. Like they just use Plastic Man as like the comic relief, but when he wants to like bring up something important, we get these beautifully illustrated panels of him being talked over by Batman and Wonder Woman and other Justice League members of like trying to figure out something else.
And they do it not only with the story but with the art.
With the art.
Which I had to point out. So this page I think shows it really well. You get the more serious stuff that's done in an art style, and then when he's with the Justice League in his like
Really
public
cartoony.
persona, it's a Darwin cookie.
Over the top
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, kudos to like Alex Lins and Jacob Edgar on that.
Yeah. And the elevator pitch for the movie is that Plastic Man is dying. He's literally melting away.
He got shot with a ray that is dematerializing his polymers that make him stretchy. So it's just making him melt
Yeah.
and like dematerialize. And it's him coming to face with death and trying to, right all the wrongs
Yeah.
that he has done. There was a few panels where I was just like, fucking Plastic Man sucks. Like,
Yeah.
he was a shitty dad and husband. And
Yeah.
like, it's illustrated so wonderfully in these panels. You're just like, God damn, this dude sucks. Like,
Yeah.
he is not good.
But then the end of the story is like he's trying to make sure that what's happening to him isn't going to happen to his son, who
Right.
has a similar power set. So
Right.
the rest of the book is going to be him trying to stop that from happening to his kid.
However, as a husband to a therapist, I have an insight here.
Yeah, has Caitlin read this?
Not yet, but it'd be thrilling to see her take on it. What he needs to be doing, instead of sacrificing himself and removing himself completely, is spend more time with his son
Well-
and repair the relationship.
He tries, and his son rejects him.
But did he?
Yeah.
But did he try? If you reread that, he's not really trying to reconnect with his son, because he didn't apologize for being gone for
true.
6 years at all.
Yeah.
He was just like, "Hey, look at me, we're here. Like, I'm here." And like the son had every right to be pissed off in that moment.
I don't validate the son's feelings. How do you feel about that, Greg?
Whoa.
I don't feel shit about it.
As someone who grew
That's
up a
your
child,
problem.
Yes.
Yeah, growing up as a child, I don't know if you guys had that same experience. You grow. Sometimes your bone hurts. Bones hurt.
can I say
You may.
that Plastic Man, his character design, his outfit one of my least favorite of all superheroes.
Wow. Hot take. Truly.
I hate this costume. I hate his big, like, goggle sunglasses.
I love it.
And I don't know.
He's just a goofball.
He
Yeah.
looks cool on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he looks
It
like.
depends on how he's drawn. You
Yeah.
know?
This is something where, like,
Do you hate Blue Beetle's goggles?
no, I like Blue Beetle's goggles. These just look like corny sunglasses to me.
Well, he's a corny boy.
I
When-
think they're meant to be like a peacock statement. They're just like, hey, I'm wacky and I got big glasses.
This
Here's some shorthand magic.
outfit is something that, like, the way he's drawn on the back, he looks like a greaser child. You know what I mean?
So like Fonzie Jr.?
And that works in, like, a Doom Patrol punk rock comics sort of way.
Sure.
And when it's done in a mainstream aesthetic, or he becomes an older person, like, the thread of that style of weird outfit, like, no longer makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like the bare-chested string holding it
With
together.
the string holding it together that goes all the way down to his crotch.
Hey, technically, he chooses that costume every day because it's part of his like business.
It's just such a... I just can't believe it hasn't been modernized after all this time.
Well, what was the last Plastic Man book you read?
Yeah, you get a big PM on the chest.
Ha! That's a throwback to our Patreon.
That's a
episode.
Patreon.
I don't know. It's looked
conversation.
the same since, like,
Yeah.
That is
he
true.
was created.
He has never. Well, he looked a little different in the Terrifics. The Terrifics outfit was pretty cool.
Was it?
It looked like a Fantastic Four outfit that he had on.
Yeah.
Um,
That if anyone doesn't know, the Terrifics, you can probably tell by the title, was
It's
just like a
basically a Fantastic
goof
Four.
on the Fantastic
Yeah.
Four. Yeah.
And if you don't know the Fantastic Four, they're like a
Yeah, we
pretty
can't help. We
popular
can't help you with
Marvel.
that, really.
that's your own fault. But I mean, Christopher Cantwell did an amazing job. It's a Black Label book, we should note, so it's kind of set in its own little world.
Is it a maxi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Of course it is.
Of course, you dolt. When I saw that Christopher Cantwell was on this book, I knew I was immediately going to read it.
I mean, I read Plastic Man Body Horror, and I was like, "Yep."
And the body horror, so he's like losing appendages, right? His arm detaches from him and like drips down a drain. At the end, it like anamorphizes
Yeah.
and like becomes its own sentient thing and like is homeless. It just gathers newspaper and sleeps on the street, which is like blob-esque style weirdness.
And he's also like, he ties a bag to his arm because his arm is constantly melting, and he says, "I don't want to lose any myself," so he pours it into a bucket,
Yeah.
and it's like fucking terrifying.
Now has a bucket of himself.
He has a bucket of himself sitting in his bathroom.
Buckets of fun.
Yeah, it's a great book. I think this is a mid-year Eisner contender. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this.
There's gonna be a lot of eyes on that. Eisner's a lofty projection, but it is. Give me issues 2 and 3, and I'll make my decision. But issue 1 definitely threw me for a loop that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah,
So
it was great.
yeah, it was really, really good.
Did we overlap elsewhere?
Yep.
You read Minor Arcana?
No.
Oh,
Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies. Of course, I should have known. Let's talk about it.
Here. Okay. I think we're gonna have contention.
Okay.
I like the idea that it's a Groot thing.
Yeah.
That he's basically spreading it.
Uh-huh.
I love that our boy, is it Jason Murr
Yep.
from
the horn, by the horn.
By the Horns, the comic that we loved, is illustrating this.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. That rule.
Yeah, which is totally cool. I felt like it was trying to do too much. Like, it wasn't fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you see Marvel Zombies, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm in for some wackiness.
Yeah,
And it wasn't really that.
The first few pages read like a almost like a kid's book.
Yes.
Captain America's like, "Oh, Groot, you need to be better hero."
Yeah.
And that's like literally a line.
Yeah.
You know, it's very like,
It was a very kid. It didn't hook me.
yeah.
There was some cool imagery with like this like zombie organic stuff that was happening that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like a pod people thing where the zombie virus is like based on plants because Groot is patient zero.
Yeah, and he's like sneezing in people's faces like a idiot.
A brute.
It's like his pollen.
Like a toddler.
Yeah, something like that. He's sick. Groot is sick.
Yeah.
He's sneezing the whole time.
Do you have games on your phone?
And he sneezes on Captain America, and that's what kicks it off.
Yeah.
But I was almost... I thought it was fine.
Oh my god. Okay, what do I have written right there?
Yeah, it's fine.
Fine. That's my review. Fine.
I'm almost a little peeved that they went with Marvel Zombies as a name for this.
Oh, it doesn't feel like it's Marvel Zombies proper.
Yeah, because it's like it has nothing to do with the other Marvel Zombies book. There aren't even like...
It should be called Groot's Very Bad Day.
Yeah, like it reads like a Poison Ivy book.
Oh,
like,
that's true. Yeah.
Like if Poison Ivy
got COVID and was like sneezing on people.
Yeah, like that is what would happen here. And
the
that's
Lamia spores or whatever they are.
Yeah, but you wouldn't call them zombies after they get that, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it felt. So I won't go as far as to say I felt hoodwinked or bamboozled by getting this thinking it was a zombie book. But I wanted it to go, I guess, one direction more. Mm-hmm. Either make it a zombie book more for kids, or like, you know, give them Groot powers while they're zombies.
Right. I think that's a great call. Had this been named anything other than Marvel Zombies, I don't think my critique would be as harsh.
Yeah.
But when you put Marvel Zombies in the title, you expect a certain type of story.
Yeah.
And this ain't it.
Yeah.
Who would you recommend this for? Is it something that like a 13-year-old could like?
Totally.
Yeah, 13-year-olds would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if a
that are just getting into horror stuff.
Yeah. 11, 12, 13 years old, you can absolutely give this to them and they'll have a blast with it.
Yeah.
Homeschool kids.
Well, if your kids
girls
just
that wear
watched,
jean dresses.
If your kids just watched like Night of the Living Dead for the first time, they'd be all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you let your kids watch the Werewolf by Night thing and they're like, "Ooh, that man thing looks cool," you're like, "Oh, this is kind of like a thing like that
for sure."
Is it set in space? Is it like self-contained to a spaceship or anything?
New York.
Okay.
Yeah. By the end of the book, all of New York is plant zombified.
It's locked down.
So, yeah, I mean,
it's fine.
On the spectrum, it is good. It was not offensively bad by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Code yellow. It's fine.
Proceed
with caution.
This will be a good one for like a subsequent issue episode. I'll keep you guys updated about this.
Okay.
Because I'm a Marvel Zombies collector, so I'll keep you updated.
If you hear heavy breathing right now, it's not me. It's our first issue club mascot, Louie the dog.
Got all up
entered the studio.
Got all up in the microphone there.
God, he had something to say. He was like, "What do you mean you like Marvel Zombies?"
Greg's still looking at those pictures of She-Hulk.
Yeah. Also a Patreon callback. No one's getting these callbacks. Let me finish mine off real quick. It's it'll be quick. I read Prairie Gods from Mad Cave.
Yeah.
It is basically a car race between a retired like dirt race track guy and the devil.
That's sick.
And it was pretty effing cool. Okay, it was a lot of fun. And I think it's a limited. In the first issue, he beats the devil in a race. And then when the devil disappears, there's smoke on the ground that says best 2 out of 3.
Oh, I love
that. I think it's going to be like a continuation of that. Yeah. And like this, the protagonist is like known as like one of the fastest race car drivers.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he's obsessed with this particular track because he always sees this thing following him. And he's like, it's trying to be faster than me. And I have to know that I'm the fastest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then he comes to find out that he has to race the devil. And like, it was very, very cool. The art style was very gritty, kind of like Old Man Logan-y style, like just haggard old man that is way too buff for an old man. It's like you either need to be a race car driver or trying to find unobtainium on like some alien planet, But it was cool. Like Mad Cave, like we said, have been having a great year
Yeah.
with books. And this is another feather in their cap with Prairie Gods. And then I read Exceptional X-Men.
Oh.
Follows Kitty Pryde.
A lot of first appearances in that, right?
Yes, there's one particular one.
Slab it.
It's a key alert. Exceptional X-Men follows Kitty Pryde in her new life, trying to figure out where she fits in the post-Krakoan era.
Yep.
She has a job in like a bakery. She's like trying to start dating. She comes in contact with this mutant who, as a young girl who has powers, who can like have iron skin.
Yeah,
when
she looks
gets
like
upset.
gold.
Yeah. And so they kind of form this really cute relationship where this girl like is really into like anime and like she's in this like it doesn't explicitly say what are those horse things, bronies?
Oh, My Little Pony.
My
Yeah,
Little Pony, yeah.
but like she goes to this concert thing where everyone's kind of dressed up in like furry outfits, but like not like full masked furries, but like the onesie stuff, and they're all like doing like this anime stuff. And there's Kitty Pryde just jaded as fuck, and they have this fun chase trying to get away from these people where she's just like holding on to this young girl and phasing through different walls and stuff, and the girl's just like, "This is awesome." And it's just a very fun, cute story. It's written by Eve L. Ewing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's phenomenal. It's such a great story. I think Cameron Cabron is the artist. Oh, I have that on my phone.
Carmen Canero?
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Hold on, I went in the wrong direction.
did he get it?
Yeah, I don't know yet. He's
It
still
is
looking.
Carmen Carnero.
Nailed it.
You got it.
Good job, Mike D.
Resident X-Head.
So it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you have Emma Frost, who's like,
Oh.
it's very funny. So the last couple pages are dedicated to Emma Frost because she's like in her mansion and all her maids are bringing her food and stuff. And like, she's like basically like, you know how you hit scan on your radio just to see what else is on the radio?
Mm-hmm.
She's basically doing that with her mind to check in with the other X-Men so she could spy on them to see like, hey, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
And she finds Kitty Pryde just doing her thing. She's like, "Oh, Kitty Pryde, look who I
Yeah,
found."
fun.
And then that leads into what was having issue too. So
Yeah.
I don't really know what Exceptional X-Men's going to be about, except following Kitty Pryde.
I assumed it was going to kind of be a New Mutants sort of thing where she might just find her again, kind of find herself like being that link between the X-Men and the younger, newer recruits.
Yeah, it definitely reads as like a book about finding your home. Like, because Kitty Pryde kind of has been wayward for a while. She, had her issues with Krakoa and getting on Krakoa and being a pirate and not really. I mean, she's been an X-Men since she was young, right? So she's known nothing but the X-Men.
Yep.
And she's just kind of battling with, like, where is my home? And this young woman that she befriends is, like, trying to find her confidence in who she is. And then, all of the X-Men are trying to figure out where their new home is because the Krakoa is gone. So I think really it's going to be about, finding your tribe and finding your definition of home and what that looks like.
Aw.
I know, tear going down my cheek. And then that's all I read.
Good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Salute.
Salute. That's like the 15th salute you've given today. What's going
I'm very
on?
salute happy.
You're very
lately.
salute happy.
I'm trying to bring attention to my new hat.
Seattle
No one
Rainers.
said anything about it.
I'm not familiar with your old hats. So.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I'm a hat guy.
You're a hat guy. You were wearing a Boulevard one last time we hung out.
Yeah. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. I'm wearing a new hat because I got a haircut and I can finally wear this hat.
Yay.
I sold
I'm
out.
Not wearing a hat.
You never wear hats
No, not a hat boy.
because you got a sweet pony.
Yeah, you do a bun.
No, I've just got a big old head. I read
With a bunch of
two
big old
additional
brains.
books this week. I read The Autumn Kingdom
From Cullen Bunn.
by our man Colin Bunn. This is out on Oni.
How was it?
It was really interesting. It's about a family that goes on a vacation. The dad is a fantasy writer, a la George R.R. Martin.
This shit drives me crazy.
Why?
You're just bending the It's just
9.4, 9.2,
unnecessary
9.0.
touches. It just drives me fucking nuts.
Stop!
He just does not have the same regard or the same. I shouldn't say regard. The same like mental
defects.
that I have.
I'm just laissez-faire, Mike.
Yeah. Right.
So Autumn Kingdom, the family's on vacation. Dad's a fantasy writer. The kids are, one of them is like almost his editor. She reads all his books. So you get these intercuts of this fantasy story with the family on vacation.
Okay.
And then the two worlds collide at the end of the book. The fantasy folks from the story kind of invade their vacation, and the two daughters are forced to fight their way out to rescue mom and dad.
May I see?
You may.
I want to see what the art looks like.
Can I touch the book you just bent in half?
They beat the shit out of. The book you just accosted.
So,
Oh, wow. This looks cool.
yeah, it's very cool. In classic Cullen Bunn fashion, it is very much fantasy invades the real world. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
this looks cool.
dark fantasy's probably the wrong word, but
You don't have your gloves on.
Nope. I refuse.
but it's very cool. I mean, anything Cullen Bunn reads is kind of an instant pickup for me.
Oh, dang. These covers look awesome.
Yeah.
For issue 2.
The biggest downfall is that this should have been a double,
Oh, yeah.
you know, to get more of the feeling of what's going on. And I think that's why they included 3 or 4 pages of preview from issue 2.
Yeah.
In the
Holy
back.
shit. This looks wild.
Yeah. It's a really wild book.
Okay.
Fans of fantasy violence and family drama, this will be right up your alley. So, definite recommend, as is basically everything Cullen Bunn writes.
Oh, specifically, I'll hop onto that. There's a ad for the deluxe omnibus of The Damned by Cullen Bunn. If you haven't read that book yet, it is a fucking blast.
The 6-gun omnibuses are the ones that I'm interested in.
Never heard of it.
You can collect it in 4 volumes now instead of 6 library editions.
Hey.
Wish I would have known that.
Did he write Man or Black too?
Yep.
That was another really
love
good,
Man or
like, if
Black,
you like
yeah.
his fantasy stuff. That's such a cool book.
He's so good. I'm really glad that he's getting a whole bunch of books back on Oni.
Yeah. He is one of the most talented writers that is the most down on his own talent. I subscribe to his email newsletter stuff, and he's always just like, yeah, well, you know, I wish I would have done this. And it's like, Colin, you write like 50 books a year, and they're all amazing.
Yeah. He
Like,
writes,
someone throw this guy a fucking party.
I know.
yeah. We interviewed him once, and he was just like, I don't feel like it. But we were like, you release like a new series a week.
Yeah.
There was like one summer in like the teens somewhere.
Yeah.
Where he just had like so many new comics came out, and he was like, I don't feel like I'm doing much. And we were
You're
like,
just like, bro.
you're
God,
killing it.
Eeyore, you're doing good, bud.
And lest we forget, he's writing that Deadpool mini, the Venom War crossover for Marvel this summer too.
Oh,
or this,
there you go.
This fall. So
He was a big part of the whole Venom stuff over the summer.
he's been a major player in Venom's history for a long time.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
He wrote all that, or a lot of that, Flash Thompson stuff after Rick Remender got off that book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He created Danny, the little symbiote hellspawn girl.
Cool, yeah.
Anyway, so that was Autumn Kingdom.
That Cullen
Totally
Bunn.
check it out.
Yeah, that's the one. I was thinking of a different
Guy named Cullen.
Now the pieces have been put together for me.
Last book I read, probably the book everybody's talking about this week, is Minor Arcana from Jeff Lemire.
The most Jeff Lemire looking cover I could have possibly imagined.
I had to get these. I think he's doing a series of tarot card covers.
Yeah.
Because the variant's called the tarot cover.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is the Fool. It's the main character, but super legit. All of the themes of this are going to be familiar to Jeff Lemire fans. Girl comes back home because her mother is dying of cancer. Doesn't want to be there because there's family drama. And somehow stumbles into a fantasy world. Does that sound like Jeff Lemire or what?
There's underlying themes of grief,
Yep.
loss,
All of that.
and someone turning into a fly.
Not the last one, but yeah, pretty much.
There is a theme in a lot of his stuff about like escapism from grief, and then like, do you live in the delusion? Does the delusion make you mad?
Yeah. When the easiest thing to do is to do the hard thing first.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like the escapism is what he's trying to illustrate of just like, yeah, you can do that, but when you come back from that, the problem's still going to be there, and most times it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we say that, I think we say this all lovingly. Like,
Yeah.
I think
For sure.
I love going
no
to
one here is shitting on Jeff Lemire.
I love coming to a Jeff Lemire book and being like, he's doing his fucking Jeff Lemire thing, and I like love every bit of
I'm
it.
about to be sad.
Yeah, make me a sad boy.
He does it in the right way.
The other cool part about this is it's already been announced. This is
It's going to be a TV show.
It's
the most important thing.
It's already been
Deciding
optioned.
what comics to buy.
Slab it.
It's in pre-production and has already been canceled.
Yeah.
No, it's a long form story. They have an ad in the back for 4 like collected editions that are all like a cycle. So it's like the Book of Wands, Book of Swords, right?
Cool.
Like based
Yeah.
on the tarot. So this is not a mini, not a maxi. It's basically an ongoing. Think 50, 60, 70 issues. So buckle in if you get for it. But I mean, it's a Jeff Lemire like long form story that he's writing and doing art for. So
It is crazy. I can't recall the last long form Jeff Lemire books. Maybe Sweet Tooth?
Yeah.
Mostly it's been like
And that was like
micro-
2006.
yeah, mini and maxi stuff. So this is exciting.
Yeah. I did read when he was coming out with this that he was lamenting the death of the long form story. You know, giving a book time to develop and you know, fall in love with these characters, really get invested in the world and the stories that it has to tell. So
Keep him alive, Jeff.
yeah.
Jeff Lemire, please say comic books. It rests on your
We
shoulders.
got one small ask.
Yeah.
Can you do just that for us?
Call Cullen, he'll help.
Yeah.
Just save a medium.
Yeah. Get the comic book boys together and save us.
Yeah. So that's Minor Arcana. Would definitely recommend it if you're in for the long haul. If
or,
not,
you just had like a breakup or
I mean, yeah, if you got family problems, probably don't read it. But
check out.
Does it have a Matt Kint cover or anything?
I didn't see a Matt Kint cover. All the covers are
These
in the
guys
front.
were
They work in tandem.
they were BFFs for a little while there, it seemed like, and like always did covers for each other.
I'm a little bit miffed
okay.
at Matt Kent
No.
because if
He's one of my all-time favorite guys.
Because he's besties with Keanu now.
if you remember when he started Flux House,
Yeah.
he toted this thing that he like all of his books were going to be like this avant-garde, like Dadaism, like weird variants and stuff. Like he was like, I may try to do like variant covers that are like made out of wood. And I was whole hog. I was like, yeah, like let's do some weird shit, Matt.
Yeah, and Dark Horse was like, Matt, that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, like Matt's like Andy Warhol here over here, just like, what if the comic book was made of soup? Soup comic book. And like the head of Dark Horse is like, oh my god. He said soup comic book again. It's the third time he's brought up soup comic book.
He did that series where the covers were
Paper bags.
grocery store bags.
Spice Supreme, Spice Superb.
Spy Superb.
Yeah.
And there would be like secret message. So it would literally be a logo from a Trader Joe's bag.
Mm-hmm.
But then like a little bit of pen would be on it, and it would be like a clue that like there's a traitor.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Like the other kind of traitor.
Yeah.
And I thought those were really slick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you can only do so
much.
Like feasibly without charging people like $20 an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on the Flex House website. Maybe you'll find your wood covers there.
Maybe I
done
should
some-
voice some of my opinion there.
He's done some like larger format books as well, and like did like kind of like a weird space exploration story that felt like not typically Matt Kent.
And was
I'll defend him till my death. You
Was-
can say
I'm
anything
not-
about it, and
I'm
I'm like,
not-
well, here's what he would.
I'm not attacking him.
was Hairball a Flex House book too?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so like he's put out stuff on that imprint. Greg just wants a cover made of hair.
He promised that. No, like, legitimately, he was.
I remember.
He was like, maybe too ambitious. We'll say that. Maybe he was just like, here's what I would like to do.
Yeah.
And then behind him, the CEO of Dark Horse is just like, no, we're not doing any of that.
This book's gonna have a variant made of my skin. We're
Yeah.
growing it in a lab.
Yeah.
And
The Dark Horse CEO grabs the mic. It's gonna be Archerm. We have Archerm to do the variant. Thank you, Matt. Take a seat.
This is the Kiss Blood Ink thing.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Which, who knows if that even actually happened or if it was just a marketing gimmick.
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
How much blood would it take for it to actually matter?
Any amount.
Any amount?
Yeah.
One drop into like a canister like this?
Yeah, because they can say that the blood's in there.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Oh, my blood's very potent.
How much of your blood is in
I am
comics?
a, I'm a pretty hot commodity with vampires in my
Paper
town.
cut.
I'm like, one hit of my blood is like 4 shots of tequila for vampires. So I'm pretty popular.
Cool.
Cool.
Not to brag, but
Great brag.
you're welcome. Humble braggus.
That's it. That's all I read.
Is that it? I believe that's an episode. How many
Louis.
minutes are we at?
Get up and say goodbye.
No, Louis, don't bark into the mic.
Come here.
What if we have
Up.
ear-sensitive friends?
We don't. Louis, loud speak.
Oh, wow. Performance anxiety.
Yeah, that was the most quiet speak. I don't know if that even came across on the mics. All right, nice try, Louis. See y'all later. First Issue Club podcast is brought to you by Boulevard Brewing Company, the people responsible for our favorite drinks, the Space Camper Cosmic IPA family of beers. Our show is edited and produced by our hosts Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. You can find us on social media at First Issue Club, and you can join the supporters who keep our humble podcast going on our Patreon at patreon.com/firstissueclub.